get jobs, work. I am oppressed. The white people are oppressing me. Where are they to oppress you?
What we are witnessing in the state of California is the very essence of political cowardliness in regard to the reparations bill, which should have been signed by the governor and that now is not just being delayed primarily by the Black Caucus, but put off, postponed with another commission, another investigation. That's the last thing we need. We need action. The governor's too obsessed with his presidential ambitions, and the politicians are too preoccupied with finding some position or status on the Democratic Party plantation. Please, we had enough of this. Where's your moral consistency? Where's your political courage? That's what we're looking for. That's precisely why our campaign puts reparations at the very center of its concerns about the Black plight and predicament, in addition to the elimination of poverty, the elimination of homelessness and unhousedness, living wage, and on and on and on. Let us continue to fight. Don't get discouraged. Be of great courage. But we've got to tell the truth.
So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit Black people. No.
Yeah. All right. Okay. All right. Welcome once again to the Beatzilla PDX official show. I am your host, Beatzilla PDX officially, and this is the midweek report news break. And hopefully you guys are having a good evening. It is hot where I'm at. Hopefully it is warm and pleasant where you are. And you are staying cool in the midst of the heat. But if you, as you are coming in this broadcast, please hit that like button, hit that share button, subscribe if you have not already subscribed, And then you can also join this channel and become a member. And if you are watching on X, make sure you come over to the YouTube channel and join this channel, the Beatzilla PDX, PDX official YouTube channel. Subscribe, hit that notification bell, hit the word all. That way you'll be notified anytime this channel goes live or a video is uploaded. So, that being said, we are talking about, and of course, this is the news break edition, so this is tape delayed. So, you know, we're not live right now. It's tape delayed, but it is airing as if it would be live. So, thanks to everybody tuning in, of course, on this Wednesday Eve. And peace, power, blessings, protection, and peace, power, protection, and blessings be upon each and every one of you. Thank you for tuning in. So, looking at things that have happened over the past week, and as you see how we started with Dr. Cornel West chiming in on his, giving his take on the events of the cowardly Congressional Black Caucus of California, which now people got to, as things are kind of transpiring and things have came out, some truths have came out about some of these members. Some of these members were definitely proud to veto this bill if it would. Now, on recent broadcast of Roland Martin, he actually had one of the, who is I guess the co-chair, Stephen Horford or some, I believe his name is. But this brother all the way to the left on the top row, underneath Kamala, would be the co-chair of the Congressional Black Caucus of California, the California Congressional Black Caucus, rather. And he actually said something very interesting on Roland Martin. What he said was that he and all the other rest of the members of this Congressional Black Caucus back in May signed this bill as co-authors. So they co-signed on this bill as recent, and it was in agreement as it stood in May. Somehow, in between May and the convention, the DNC convention, something changed. And he said that when he got to Chicago, the chairperson of the Congressional Black Caucus, California Congressional Black Caucus, pulled him aside and said that there were some issues with the bill and wanted him to change some things. And I guess that didn't happen. Of course, he stood on where he was, and basically he was informed then that they were about to tank the bill. Now, it's amazing to me that it didn't happen until the DNC convention. Something also happened in this short amount of time that people subsequently always want to bring up how short of a period of time this is, that we have Kamala Harris in this race. And, because she hasn't spoken to the public. She really still hasn't. She's given canned interviews and basically campaign stops. But outside of that, to have some town hall or real type of interview or press conference like that, no, that's not happening. And really the interview that she did with Tim Walz, that was, a controlled environment. And right now I'm understanding that she's doing an interview with Ricky Smiley that will air Friday. So I guess she'll be taping that tomorrow, and then that'll be airing on his broadcast Friday. But it's another canned interview. This is something that we know will be softballs, because we've already heard Ricky Smiley pretty much in tears over the idea that Kamala Harris would get sworn in by Ketanji Brown Jackson because it's a Delta and an AKA. And then the other things of the week have been Kamala Harris's black scent and her cultural appropriation of Black American culture when she is not a Black American. She does not have the Black American experience. One thing that's amazing is how people are caping for it, but how fast they come out and get on everybody else's tops about braids and cultural appropriation. But I can't help but notice all of those people have fallen silent this season. Have y'all noticed that? The people that rush out and say, oh man, she is cultural appropriating our style, and man, Black women can't have nothing. Those Black women that really say Kamala Harris isn't Black get silenced and ignored. But for the masses, all of those people, they're quiet. They're quiet. Quiet as church mice. Mises. So, looking at how these people would veto a bill, this brother actually legitimately said on Roland Martin's broadcast that he hadn't heard from Governor Newsom at all. This was the Black Democrats telling him that they're going to veto this bill in lieu of what they've heard from Gavin Newsom. Now, here's the problem, because as the Congressional Black Caucus, they're equal bodies of the government there. So they needed to present the bill and let him veto it. And then they can work to overturn his veto. But at least you present the bill and they get tabled. But see, they were trying to prevent that from going forth. And at first we started looking at it short-sightedly, I believe, because we're looking at the people in front of us. They're the easiest targets to understand. But I had to look at it with a different view and just a wider, broader lens. So I wanted to go back and just brush over some things. And I remembered when Roe v. Wade was overturned. And I remember Elizabeth Warren being so hot under the collar that she was flustered at the words. She couldn't figure out the words to get out because she was so upset. And, seeing something like that, it just reminds me that these people have other agendas at play. So what else would have these cowardly Negroes in the California Congressional Black Caucus double-crossing Black folks in such a manner as they did? And I'm like, well, for all intents and purposes, there are two California politicians that right now, as far as the DNC goes, wield all of the power. You know who those two women are? Those women are Kamala Harris and Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi has enough juice and enough power to tell the sitting president, you're out. Well, who then could have more influence in Chicago to say, in my home state, because we do understand Nancy Pelosi absolutely is tied into the business affairs of the state of California, since that's the state she represents. Is this picture coming a little clearer for y'all? So and just go with me, maybe I'm putting on my tinfoil fedora a little bit, or maybe I am just looking at this with politically strategic eye. But how I see this is you have the California politicians behind the scenes saying, kill this bill because we do not need this reparations conversation as a distraction before this election. Because they didn't want to upset those anti-black voters that would turn on a dime, knowing that Democrats let they ends get away with something. This is a problem of black faces in high places, because this just tells you that the only difference that changed in that black person's state is their bank account and their altitude. They gain nothing in power. They gain nothing in a network of defense. If they get broken, they're out. And then you get blackballed. In other words, you get that wake-up call. And some of us are waiting for some of these other individuals out here to get their wake-up call. And I think, time it's coming. It's coming. People upset because we're talking about Kamala Harris and Greens. We're talking about Kamala Harris and washing greens in the bathtub, that is, which is extremely nasty and unsanitary. And then we're also talking about Kamala Harris's black scenting. And people are really trying to say, well, we really gonna judge her blackness on greens. Here's the thing. We really wouldn't have any reason to judge her blackness if she wasn't over-presenting a version of what she perceives blackness to be. So we're going to first need y'all to address this situation reasonably. And the first thing that you guys need to respect is she is the one that is going out of her way to make herself seem like she is like from the heart of Black America, which is the black woman, and she's not. She just simply is not. And I don't know why that's so hard for people to accept. She is just simply not that. But now she's doing all of these other routines. And here's the thing, with all of the blackness and the blackness. This is why I also played this other video. If you guys were tuned in at the very beginning of this broadcast, but who remembers this person?
You guys are not oppressed. You're lazy. That's all it is. Go get jobs. Work. I am oppressed. The white people are oppressing me. Where are they to oppress you?
It's funny too, because just right before we got to this California debacle, the video of Kamala Harris from a while back started surfacing just days before. This is why I'm just looking at this like, who, who are the most powerful women in politics right now? If it's not Kamala Harris and Nancy Pelosi. So why would they want California's bill to die right now? Because as California goes, so does the states. So this could turn into, number one, black folks putting pressure on this party to move and angering those middle of the road anti-black, or the low key anti-black voters, and that would anger them to go full anti-black and turn away from voting Democrat. And I'm thinking this just might have something to do with it.
But in the area of reparations for descendants of Africans enslaved, if you elected president, would you sign that bill if it came across your desk?
When I am elected president, I will sign that
Well, now, when she is president, she will sign that bill. You understanding? Who would want this bill killed? I know Nancy Pelosi. Maybe also this person too.
So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No.
Wow. I mean, wow. And folks have the nerve to talk to us any type of way. You got the Congressional Black Caucus that vetoed their own bill to protect this election and Gavin Newsom's further career. And this brother that has been working the hardest for this bill, he terms out in December. This was by design, ladies and gentlemen, and it wasn't just some low-level Negroes in the California Congressional Black Caucus. It wasn't just them. This had to be coming from something a little stronger and more powerful, in my opinion. Let me just show you that again. I just want this to sink in your mind, man.
But in the area of reparations for descendants of Africans enslaved, if you elected president, would you sign that bill if it came across your desk?
When I am elected president, I will sign that bill.
Wow. So, who would want that bill? I could see some powerful Democrats saying, hey, brother, let me holler at you real quick over here now. See, what you need to do is you need to make sure the bill goes away now, because one hand gonna wash the other around here now. You want aspirations or something else there. You might get a little kickback over here in Washington, D.C. if you go ahead and step forward and put this little amendment in the bill, because what we need is we need a little bit of interference, because we need to send this back for a study to re-examine who is eligible and who ain't. Never forget, we were on it from jump. And guess who just popped back out the woodwork? Oh, yes. Lady Jam. And obviously her funding partners hard at work to disrupt the conversation and the legislation of reparations. You understand what we're talking about here, family? They went around and found another way. How can we stop this? Because we need to send, all of a sudden they're interested, and they're saying it's Gavin Newsom that wants the bill to go back and send it for more of a study to re-examine eligibility for reparations. After all that has been done and the people have spoken, let's usurp the people's will and put it in the hands of some college kids. And y'all want us to vote. When we see you spending the money to stop ours, we're supposed to vote for their candidates? Are you kidding? How? How do you rationalize that? Well, she gonna give you $25,000 to go ahead and get up in the house. Well, she already given illegals $30,000, and they don't have nearly the requirements that we're gonna have to get that 25. They may have criminal records from where they're coming from. See, all the issues that Americans have, they don't. And they are on top of that, getting handouts. How dare you talk to black folks talking about what we shouldn't be asking for? Hell no. And this is why we say here, we are voting no to benign neglect. Enough is enough. At the end of the day, it just might be the couch. If nobody is coming through with tangibles, or right now, I will tell you, it's Cornel West does have reparations in his mouth now. And we most definitely know Ukraine is not our responsibility. So back to this Congressional Black Caucus. Think of this on the main level when you're talking about the Congressional Black Caucus. What are we saying here? We're saying that wherever these people are, black folks are going to lose. Why? Because these people absolutely are working against black folks' interests. Talking about the bill didn't have the votes. Yeah, it did. It actually did. It actually, because here's the thing, and this is what they know. Because the pathway, one of the pathways to combating illegal immigration is reparations. Because you have to divert those resources. And it doesn't go to outsiders. White Americans can feel somewhat, like they've done their part in some regard. Not that does any justice for the harms done to over the centuries, but I'm saying it in the means of how these cowardly individuals think. Like, oh man, all of them ain't gonna be mad. I need y'all to get out of that. Man, you know what happened when white people get mad? You remember that one tether from a few years back? Y'all really stop asking for reparations. You know what white people do when they get mad? Man, they come and get you. And I'm just going to sit back and watch. That was stupid. You're going to sit back and watch. No, they're going to pick your ass off because you're the closest, dummy. But nonetheless, one of the gentlemen that spoke right here, and if you are looking at your screen, he is at the center of the shadow of the coup. And you're going to see why right now.
But in March, as you mentioned, the task force voted to define an eligible person to receive reparations as an individual being an African-American descendant of a chattel enslaved person or the descendant of a free black person living in the U.S. prior to the end of the 19th century. That went against some advocates who called for reparations for all black Californians. Do you believe, though, that the task force got it right?
So I voted against that. I'm one of the four that did not agree with that.
Never forget. Never forget. You heard right out of his mouth. I'm one of the four that voted against it. Shoot. Black people need to be spending their money with all black people. I mean, they go through racism too. That's not what reparations is. Reparations is not It's not even an anti-black hate crime bill. Reparations is repair to do if for harm done to a certain community. And if other people came here willfully and suffered after their willful entry, I don't see how that is on any, needs to even be attached to the debt owed to us. We are not the same.
I partially agree that we need to start with the descendants of slaves and people who...
I partially agree that we need to start with the descendants of slaves. I partially agree. Okay, dude.
Experience that. And that justifies why we have to have reparations. After that, whether you came in here on a slave ship or a cruise ship, every African-American right now is experiencing racial segregation.
Bruh, no. To even compare somebody coming through a slave ship and a cruise ship, how do you make that gross comparison, dude? It doesn't matter. It does. It does matter. And that's another thing. You, family, are you starting to hear and see a lot? What does it matter? And why does it matter? And what does it matter? But because it does. Let that be your answer. Because it does. Simple as that. It matters because it matters. And if your candidate ain't gonna get a vote because it matters, because of Mr. Potato Head looking coons like this one, I want to sit over here and disrupt the bill. And this dude comes out there mocking the family, folks. This is the worst kind of treason. It's black race in high places. She look how we win it. And so don't tell me to vote for nobody because they black. This is what voting for black gets you. Is he black in his soul? Is his heart with the people? And obviously this cat ain't.
And poverty and all those ills. And it has not stopped. So we need to go a little bit deeper and further than just that. And hopefully we will continue to have that discussion. We're going to get more African Americans involved in the discussion because it was a small segment of the population that got involved that helped to reach to that conclusion. I believe once you get all of African Americans in California involved in the discussion, we'll come with a more robust way of distributing and making sure that everyone is taken care of.
There's only one group of people advocating for reparations for slavery and its vestiges. Other black groups are not involved because they know it's not their claim. And this is the other thing. Hey, black folks, all that fighting you doing, I want to go ahead and crap on all of your energy by saying, hey, let me disrupt what you've done to go ahead and give it to somebody else. Man, please. And for you, Reggie Sawyer, you get one of these.
Sambo, Sambo, Sambo.
Man, oh man, oh man. So, let's see, where do I want to go next? You know, because these folks was really showing out. They was really showing out. Let me see. Okay. Let me get this in here. Bear with me 1 second. Is this it? Oh, okay. So this ain't it, but this, like I said, I'm tying two things in. So looking at the connection, here's your California Congressional Black Caucus. And they're there to support, of course, their candidate, Kamala Harris. And took the orders from the top to sink the reparations, table it, shelve those bills. All of that work that they have done, we've heard now from Camilla Moore. We have heard from the representative, senator. We've heard from these people. So now we know California was double-crossed by the Congressional Black Caucus of California. And I'm just leaning toward it would be how the DNC heads would figure is that they need to hurry up and kill that bill before that becomes the topic of discussion of this election. Because Kamala Harris does not want to give black folks reparations as much as Nancy Pelosi or even Donald Trump wants to. But this is the point. It would be in the forefront and out there in conversation, because having a reparations bill passing right now in the state of California would be absolutely major. So why, and who does it help politically? Well, it most definitely helps this Democratic candidate with anti-Black America. So for you, Black America, I hope you are understanding this is the loyalty of your party, and this is the loyalty of your own that even say they represent you, but they clearly don't. And they're telling you that when you see stuff like what I'm about to play, you shouldn't feel no kind of way of offended at what you're hearing, because lie to yourself and tell yourself, in spite of knowing that this person is an Indian and has been around nothing but Indian culture, all of a sudden this individual would know how to do something that is tied culturally to foundational Black American freedmen, which is the making of collard greens.
I have a friend who had a Christmas party, Christmas Eve every year, and she asked me to make the greens for a party every year. And I am not lying to you that I would make so many greens that I'd need to wash them in the bathtub. I'm telling you the truth.
So how do you make your greens? Do you put turkey in them? Do you
bacon.
Nice. My grandma
I do bacon.
She puts
garlic.
vinegar.
I put white vinegar.
Yes.
I do. So I start with, I slice up my garlic. Well, but no, first I chop up the bacon
fry it.
and get all that fat going. Then I put garlic, some chili peppers, and then a lot of water and a little chicken stock, and I let it go for a while before I put the greens in. And then, right, so you get that going and all that flavor, and then I put the greens in for a couple hours. Then I do vinegar, and then I cheat and do a little Tabasco.
No, that's okay.
Yeah, but Tabasco of all, like I like Louisiana hot sauce, but Tabasco has that right amount of vinegar. Yeah, and that's how I do my greens.
I see why you get invited every year.
Wow. I don't know about slicing garlic for greens. If you said slicing a potato or onions would have made more sense, but I don't put garlic in my greens like that. Can't really, I mean, maybe a little bit of garlic powder as you season your greens, but, and what's funny is I actually made a pot of greens this week. Stumbled up on some turnip greens in the store, so I said, oh, well, let me go ahead and grab some. They collards look cool, the turnips look cool, and they mustards look cool. So I did me a trio pot, how I was raised by my Black foundational freedman grandmother. You know, see, things that we have culturally tied to us. That's how I know. Now, how would she say she knows how to make a pot of greens? From her childhood? No. She showed you when she was with Mindy Kaling what she was making in her childhood. She know that Indian stuff, which is understandable since she's Indian. And then, if anything, she's Jamaican. So we'll break out the jerk chicken and curry goat. Again, if you guys go to any kind of, Caribbean restaurant, Jamaican restaurant, do they have greens on the menu? Can't say that I've ever been to any Caribbean restaurant. Not a one. No. I can't say that I have seen that. Have any of you? But now they want me to believe that this woman is washing her stuff in the tub. I'll tell you what. This has just gotten out of hand. I seen a video where this guy has his woman washing greens in the tub. That is just so ridiculous. That is just so freaking ridiculous. Do I have that? I'm like, why is she on her? She's on her knees. Yeah, baby, we gonna get that. Yeah. Oh, and this video is this video is actually old, but obviously they're gonna run with it. Let's see. Bear with me 1 second. Okay. I gotta get to. Okay, hold on. Where we at here? All right. Okay. I have to scroll. I don't know why this thing downloads in the or uploads rather by date. So when you end up looking for something, if I don't know why these dates be timestamping like that, but it is what it is. Let's see, we're almost there. Where this fool got his woman washing greens in the tub like an idiot. Okay, yeah, here it is. Let me get this in there.
This is how you make sure you got the good eating. Look at that. If you don't clean your greens like this or your chili, this is how you make sure you got the good eating. Look at that. If you don't clean your greens like this or your chili.
There's so much wrong with that. There is so much wrong with that. On top of it being overtly unsanitary. You know, I mean, Lord. Yeah. All right. That's pretty much all I can say to that. All right. Yuck. So let me get to this video, and this is from now I want to hear, because like I told what that dude told Roland Martin. Y'all go check Roland Martin out at your leisure. But that cat told Roland Martin that he had the votes for his bill to pass. And they're up here talking about how it didn't have the votes. But it actually did. So listen to what this woman says.
Not ready about the bill. What is not ready about the bill?
There is a
7 months of appeal. You're One of your priorities. What is not really in my bill? We need your vote. Passport to no free. We need your vote on no reparations and on no vote. Yep, you gonna cause Kamala Harris to lose in November. Y'all gonna cause the Democratic Party to lose in November.
I know that's right.
Yeah, but
it's not anything out of the ordinary related. Well, I understand that you were having a conversation.
Now they're gonna tell you, they're gonna lie in your face and tell you that. Now, what they didn't expect is for the brother to come out there and throw him straight up under the bus. So they're still out here in the family's face, fronting. But the brother done let the cat out the bag. And truth be told, Gavin Newsom technically didn't even tell him he was going to veto the bill. And at the end of the day, really, what difference does it make if he was going to veto it or not? Y'all needed to present that and let Gavin Newsom stand on that. We don't owe Gavin Newsom nothing. So here they are over here trying to protect other people's political aspirations and issue on black folks to do it. And they want you to reward them. Well, I ask y'all, family, y'all gonna reward them? They gonna get your votes in November? Because there's a lot of these folks that is up for election, and a lot of these people just simply should be voted out of power and voted out of office. So are you guys gonna vote for these folks? Or are you gonna say enough is enough? Let's hear a little more from this woman. And because these are black faces in high places, so let's get it clear. Like, well, we're gonna vote for her because we're gonna vote for the black person. That black person, nobody, man, she comes from here's what an actual black person is. So I mean, we don't need to be stretching somebody how their connection is to us culturally, because if you are acting like this, what difference does it make? You ain't moving for the betterment of black people as a whole, and that is unforgivable.
You just gave the illegals $150,000 of down payment on their homes with no pushback.
Wow.
Exactly. They just gave the illegals $150,000 down payment on their homes though, with no pushback. Giving them healthcare was causing us to. You just gave millions to these illegal immigrants $150,000 down payment towards their homes.
What about the ancestors?
Wow. And her smirk is demonic as hell.
Y'all gave them health care with no pushback, which taught taxpayers over the.
This woman's arrogance. How many times do we tell you that these folks hate black people? You see this woman's face? She's proud. She is proud to be crapping on black folks. This is disgusting, family.
$600 billion a year. There's no reparation, no vote. The Democrat Party gonna lose in November.
We have a commissioner from the city of LA watching you. We have a commissioner from the city of LA watching you.
Absolutely crazy, family. And we're supposed to co-sign that. We're supposed to co-sign that. Not I. No. I mean, in all reality, we have long known that we've had these congressional black do-nothing black politicians. I mean, they've been the jokes and kind of the heels in some of going back to black exploitation movies. But at this stage in the game, this madness is just that. Madness. Now, in all fairness, you know, these black folks have been able to get away with it for so long and unchecked. And we have a huge contingency of black folks that no matter how bad they are done by these folks, it doesn't matter how that you getting this. Man, we still got to ride with the Democrats now. You know, come on now. We still got to get at. We got to keep that Trump out. Got to keep that Trump out. Meanwhile, Kamala Harris, look at her bus. This woman is literally running on the Negro Project. And that right there in itself is reprehensible, because I would hope people would understand. But, you know, I think maybe this evening, maybe we'll revisit the letter of Margaret Sanger to Dr. Gamble of Procter & Gamble. Because people tend to forget how this, and we hear it loosely, it's eugenics. But all of the components that go along with it. What do you see right now? You got the black church. Are they not heavily talking about women's rights and women's rights? And again, I have to ask, where was this? I'm sorry, first off, what is a woman? Because we're talking about a woman's right to choose and freedom and woman this, woman that. What is a woman? Would anybody want to try to define what a woman is? Because I've seen Supreme Court justices have issues trying to decipher what a woman was. And, you know, the age-old trope is that black women are the backbone, not just the backbone of the community, but the backbone of the Democratic Party. And that has been true. However, times are changing and attitudes are fading. And reality is emerging because the truth has arrived.
If you elected president, would you sign that bill if it came across your desk?
When I am elected president, I will sign that bill.
Pull the plug, y'all. Democrat Party, y'all need to pull the plug on this candidate. Y'all need to put somebody else in her place, because she is embarrassing y'all out here in these streets. For you to sit there and fucking lie about something when you know goddamn well you're not gonna do it, when you already said that you're not gonna do anything for black people. Ain't that what she said? I'm not gonna do anything just for black people. No, ain't that what the fuck she said?
I'm so tired of the black community and y'all low standards. The standards are so low. You are so low in your standards that even in your vote, you have Russians and Ukrainians and people from all these different countries coming in. They're getting trade jobs. They're starting businesses. They're buying houses on the block. They've been here for 10 years and we're scrambling to the top. We just want to see somebody that look like us and we good. Oh, she look like us. That works. Oh, she look like me. She's black. First of all, she's not, but I ain't even gonna go there with you. For your sake, for your peace and comfort, yeah, she's black. But guess what? She don't give a damn about you. She didn't petition for nothing regarding the black community since she's been up there. But you know what, Kirk Franklin? Pull up, because you know we ain't really been doing nothing for 3 years. Go ahead, pull up and sing, dance.
You know what's weird? Is when a lot of you Democrats always saying that if you let Trump in, he's going to take women's rights away from us. Because when I clearly remember, you Democrats have been trying to take our women's rights away from them by allowing men in women's spaces, by allowing men to compete in women's sports, by allowing a man to become Woman of the Year, by allowing a man to win Miss America, whatever, Miss Universe, whatever it won. By allowing men to be on CoverGirl commercials, putting tampons in boys' bathrooms, wanting men to go in women's bathrooms. Y'all are literally trying to erase a woman on your side, and y'all talking about our rights are being taken away by Donald Trump.
She's not confident. I don't think that she is the leader that we need for America. I'm sorry. We need somebody strong that can get the job done. And we need somebody that's intimidating, that don't take no, that ain't playing no games with people. And she's just not it.
You guys are saying Kamala is our representation of our first black female president. I don't ever want to argue with you niggas about my blackness.
This whole lifetime I've been black. I've been around nothing but black people. I've been in nothing but black communities. I've worked nothing but black ass jobs. I am telling you, if she did so much for us, I wouldn't have to do my homework. I wouldn't have to Google it. I wouldn't have to look it up because I'm black. I would be living the benefits of her doing the work on behalf of me. That's how that goes.
Why do black people get upset when they find other black people supporting Trump? They get so disturbed, so upset. We don't get upset when you guys continue to vote Democrat, who has absolutely ignored you. Every 4 years you vote them in, they promise you that they're going to change your conditions, and they never do, and you guys continue to give them chances. Nobody's upset with you guys that you guys continue to rally behind Sleepy Joe, who said he didn't want his kids to go to school with monkeys, but you love calling Donald Trump racist. Nobody's complaining that you guys are rallying behind Kamala Harris because visually you see her as black, but she doesn't even identify as black. Only when it's convenient to get the black vote. She ain't one of y'all. We
How true it is. How true it is. How true it is. And that woman is absolutely, them women are absolutely correct. And that is, a large part of who they have said is the backbone of the party. And they're telling you they feel turned on. And rightfully so, because truth be told, let's keep it a buck. The Democrats absolutely have turned on black women. Remember when I told y'all they was trying to replace you, especially black women. So I'm glad more black women are being vocal about that and coming out and saying that, because that's just simply the truth. And it's ridiculous that these folks are coming trying to always check black people over this Indian woman who plays in our faces and then wants us to act like it's not disrespect. And let me just be one that says it's absolutely disrespect. Like, look at this.
Let's just get through the next 64 days. How about that?
And this thing.
You better thank a union member for sick leave. You better thank a union member for paid leave. You better thank a union member for vacation time. Because what we know.
And people have the nerve to sit up here and be, I'm gonna check y'all about her. She got a black scent, but you know what, man? She done been around black culture, so it's gonna have her sounding like and talking like that. Talking about she code switching? No, that ain't no code switching, because then she goes in front of a bunch of white folks and does this
every day. For the 5-day work week, for the weekend, for paid leave if you've got it. We still got work to do.
Wow. And then they had the cover for it. Let's run some cover for her. Oh, well, no, she ain't got no, she ain't have no black scent. Wrong. Yeah, she did. And it looks tacky. It looks super tacky. And people calling it out, and then they're trying to act like it ain't getting called out. Yeah, it is. And as well as it should be. I mean, see, what I'm trying to figure out is where are all the people who could call out appropriation? Y'all so quick to call out these other non-black women and they have melanin, but you real quick to call them out and then be like saying nothing. It's amazing to me. It is absolutely amazing to me. Maybe it shouldn't be. But man, let me play this little clip I saw. This is too funny.
A different topic. Since when does the vice president have what sounds like a southern accent?
Better thank a union member for sick leave. You better thank a union member for paid leave. And you all helped us win in 2020, and we're going to do it again in 2024.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well,
I mean, this is...
She was talking about unions in Detroit using one tone of voice.
Is this something that
same
you think...
line.
Okay, Peter.
That she used the same line in Pittsburgh, and it sounded like she at least had some kind of a southern drawl.
I mean, do you hear the question that you're... I mean, do you think Americans seriously think that this is an important question? They care... You know what they care about? They care about the economy. They care about lowering costs. They care about health care. That's what Americans care about.
So
that's what they want to hear.
This is something...
They care about, your colleague just asked me about what basically we talked about, went back and forth about democracy and freedom. That's what they care about. I'm not even going to entertain some question about the president. It's just hearing it sounds so ridiculous.
Well, but hearing it is...
The question, I'm talking about the questions is just insane.
Is that how she talks in meetings here?
I'm just... Peter, we're moving on. We're still moving around.
I'm sure it isn't. I'm sure it isn't. And people have so much to say. Oh yeah, because see how she had to sidestep that. But no, when I said this isn't code switching on my X page, this isn't code switching. This is acting. Yeah, here's some more acting for you, family. Check it out.
Wait, well, okay, come on. The kids have to come forward. Come on, you guys. Okay, who do we have here? Hi, Evan. Nice to meet you.
Sorry,
No, you're working. You're working. This is all good. If you didn't, I'd be wondering, is he really working? Right?
Well, I wonder
there
that all
you
the
go.
time.
Well, of course.
Sometimes I think he just puts a little sauce on that shit.
He just puts a little sauce on the shirt, you know. I wonder if he's working too, you know what I'm saying. Little barbecue sauce ain't hurt nobody, you know. Y'all just eat that up. She's so black. No, she's not. And she's talking to a white dude, by the way. But here's another one of her greatest hits.
I come from a long line of tough, trailblazing and phenomenal women. My grandmother would go into villages in India and because she was Indian and lived in India, and she would go to the villages in India. It was a famous story in our family. My grandfather would say she was going to be the end of his career, but my grandmother would go into the villages with a bullhorn, talking with the women about the need to have access to reproductive health care.
Her mother would go through the neighborhood with a bullhorn, preaching about women needing reproductive health care. Does that even make sense to y'all? I'm just curious. Does that make sense to you? Lord. Oh my goodness. Boy, they will try to tell black folks anything, man. And I do mean anything. Let me see. Let's see, there's something else I need to play for y'all. So just a sec here. Let me see. All right, I'm looking for because I want to play this letter. And like I said, I've played it before. But because I should have it in here. Let's see. Man, because it's the letter, it's a reading of the letter from Margaret Sanger. And this is the woman who is always completely championed by the Democrats. She's the founder of Planned Parenthood, which of course was initially dubbed the Negro Project, for those who are unaware. And right now, we have a so-called black woman who's trying to make the Negro Project her key move. And for me, I gotta wonder what the hell is wrong with folks, especially church folks, that are subscribed to that. But with that being said, let me check this out.
December 10th, 1939. Dr. C.J. Gamble, 255 Adams Street, Milton, Massachusetts. Dear Dr. Gamble, it's good to know that you are recovering. I also am stepping up and have felt much better the past week. Miss Delp was here for Thanksgiving, and I am more than delighted to learn that she was able to get $250 from the California Birth Control Organization, plus the $600 from the Federation. That's good. She is a go-getter and a live wire, very tactful and charming as well. I think that my pick of her has been justified, even though she is a little higher priced than the ordinary. She has been working on the article to be written by Miriam DeFord, Mrs. Maynard Shipley. They were good enough to send me a rough draft for comments and suggestions, and the important suggestion that I made was not to include Miss Delp's actual name in the article, because of the fact that her sister is married to one of the high spots in the Farm Security Department, and if the enemy started to work on her name, they might make it difficult along the line. Otherwise, I think the article is good. As to my sending suggestions...
Who is the enemy? Exactly. Who is the enemy that you do not want to find out about this project that all of these people who don't mean black people any good are conspiring and in cahoots to do? Just know what we're pushing here.
To the Federation, I think it is really unfair for me to do so. I am too far away to have the personal contact of the different reactions, and it only holds up any definite project to have the pros and cons battered about, which makes for more chaos and confusion. There is only one thing that I would like to be in touch with, and that is the Negro Project of the South, which, if the execution of the details remain in Miss Rose's hands, my suggestions will not be confusing because she knows the way my mind works. Miss Rose sent me a copy of your letter of December 5th, and I note that you doubt it worthwhile to employ a full-time Negro physician. It seems to me, from my experience, where I have been in North Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee, and Texas, that while the colored Negroes have great respect for white doctors, they can get closer to their own members and more or less lay their cards on the table, which means their ignorance, superstitions, and doubts.
How much more do they employ that with politicians, entertainers, comedians, and athletes? Isn't that same thing employed there? And then how do these black groups get infiltrated? The same way. Very old playbook. Very old playbook. But look at the agenda that they end up pushing. Where does that come from?
They do not do this with the white people, and if we can train the Negro doctor at the clinic, he can go among them with enthusiasm and with knowledge, which I believe will have far-reaching results among the colored people.
Enthusiasm and with knowledge. Beep, 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 stupid fools. Enthusiasm and narcotic. I mean, he said knowledge. That's what he said. Yeah. And like we say here, ladies and gentlemen, avoid the narcotic. Now, with that being said, continuing on.
His work, in my opinion, should be entirely with the Negro profession and the nurses, hospital, social workers, as well as the county's white doctors. His success will depend upon his personality and his training by us. The minister's work is also important, and also he should be trained, perhaps by the Federation, as to our ideals and the goal that we hope to reach. We do not want word to go out that we want to exterminate the Negro population.
So we're going to use the black folks to betray black folks. It's a very old tactic, ladies and gentlemen. And so when you're basically hearing somebody tell you to go along with them and their agenda, man, y'all listening to the white man and blah, blah, blah. Ain't no white man around me, stupid. I'm looking at y'all telling us to vote for this woman. She's with the white man. What are you talking about? Let's hear more.
And the minister is the man who can straighten out that idea if it ever occurs to any of their more rebellious members.
Meaning that exterminating the Negro population is the agenda of the Negro Project in the South. Did you understand? Thinning out your political power, thinning out your power to even raise up and be a resistance. You've been the target of that. So why wouldn't they push emasculating your men? Why would they not push that? Because you see from this has been an agenda. So this is when people, man, talk like it's an agenda to push certain things on the black community. It is. And here's the proof of it. Going all the way back down to the one thing that this presidential hopeful is running on right now. Not only that, she has it on her bus. It's literally on her bus.
I agree with you that Miss Rose has done a remarkable job in thinking through and planning the project, but she has worked on it for some time. As soon as I knew there was the possibility of getting any money, I put her at work drafting the plan for Mr. Lackner. She is excellent at just such a job. She hangs on to details, weaves, and correlates them into the design. I shall never cease to have the utmost admiration and regard for her ability, and so far I have not seen anyone in the Federation who could take her place. I am constantly delighted at the thought that you are getting better, and now we must pray for Mrs. Tim, who is seriously ill at the doctor's hospital in New York. My regards to your Sarah and to yourself. Sincerely yours, Margaret Sanger.
Demon. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen. We have watched them push this madness on us for Lord knows how long. And I think it's time to say no more. You know, what about y'all? What do you think, ladies and gentlemen? Have you had enough? Has this foolishness been enough for you? All the madness that they want to continuously push on black folks and then tell us we're crazy for rejecting it. We're crazy for not wanting to be abused. We're crazy for actually looking at this situation that might just simply tell us, hey, something ain't right here. And somebody is really going out of their way to sabotage us. And now to this regard, we actually got some faces and some names, and we could see them proudly in action doing so. I'm sure you guys have seen all of these videos coming out of California in the past few days. I'm sure you've had to see them all. And, you know, they'll block reparations. This country, that's another thing with Planned Parenthood. Because wanting black folks to keep talking about Roe v. Wade, that's why they need to talk about it. Roe v. Wade is the big talking point and the big selling point. They don't want to talk about that Negro Project aspect of it. So that's why they're trying to make it about, you know, they're trying to take reproductive rights and all of that crap. Man, let me tell you something. Reproductive rights would be in vitro, and they're actually making in vitro more accessible. At least that's what Trump wants to do. Now, I will say, some of the things that I'm seeing, you know, like they had the blacks for Trump and the ends for Trump. Don't really care for that crap at all. That's pandering. And some of these conservative black dudes that be like, we don't want to talk about race. Race still exists, genius. Race ain't went nowhere. Now, of course, there's the whole issue. And again, we could talk about it from a lineage and financial standpoint there. So that is a conversation for another day, but, you know, because we have conservative values, but we do not have conservative coon mindset. So there's a big difference when it comes down to this sector of black votes. But one thing I will say is, family, if you run up on Donald Trump, don't do this.
I believe that the president is going to win New Jersey. I believe it's after I see what OJ and LT did in Wildwood, and from what I'm hearing, being in the communities, I think he's going to take New Jersey and New York. I really believe that, you know. Everybody see what's going on. People ain't fooled no more.
Yes. I like this man. I like.
Yeah, family, don't do that. And like I said, this woman is running on the Negro Project. This is literally the foundation of our campaign. So the person who is like running as the modern day Margaret Sanger that refuses to talk to the public, that wants to skate and say what her agenda is after the election. Well, always remember.
So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No.
And just keep in mind, This bus literally represents extermination of the Negroes. And somehow you say, this is what we should be voting for. This is something we need to be looking at? I think not. I most definitely think not. I mean, just understand, like I said, you got to know what it represents. And it's I'm not finna cater or go co-sign something that is blatantly looking like a pathway to our own destruction. Something that is the foundation of it is the extermination of Negroes. I find people doing that like that's ridiculous. You would literally co-sign or be part of that. Like, bro, well, it's different today. No, it ain't. It's still the agenda of the mass deleting of black babies. And that's just something I can't support. And I think if you guys are subscribing to that mind that you don't understand what this thing really is, I don't know what to tell you, man. But here's on another thing. If always remember, at the end of the day, these people also are the same folks on the screen here that will deny black folks their reparations, but in turn are giving money hand over fist to illegals that they themselves day one endorsed coming into this country. And don't you ever forget it. And somebody may say, oh, they didn't open the border day one. Let's take a look, shall we?
We had a very busy and active day today, as you all know, but I wanted to take a moment to go through the 15 executive actions, or highlights of them, I should say, and some of the steps that the president asked agencies to take today. You should have all received copies of the executive orders as well as the accompanying fact sheets, but I want to take this moment to highlight them for the American public who are watching at home. He signed a proclamation effective immediately, halting further funding or construction of the previous administration's border wall and terminating the so-called national emergency used to wastefully divert billions for wall construction. Also today, President Biden sent an immigration bill to Congress. The U.S. Citizenship Act modernizes our immigration system. It provides hardworking people who've enriched our communities and lived here for decades an opportunity to earn citizenship. The president's priority reflected in the bill are to responsibly manage the border, keep families together, grow our economy, address the root causes of migration from Central America, and ensure that America can remain a refuge for those fleeing prosecution. With that, I'd love to take your questions. Zeke, why don't you kick us off?
Babylon is fallen. Babylon is fallen. Let it fall and let us rise. Can you dig it? Yes, indeed. So let me know, ladies and gentlemen, do you think that Kamala Harris and old Nancy Pelosi had they California minions throwing a monkey wrench, personally sabotaging the reparations bills? Do you think they did that? Maybe it's just me, but I find it absolutely plausible that could be the case. You know, like I said, maybe it's just me. Maybe it's not the situation. Who knows? All I could say is it just doesn't make sense to me what people have bought into. And you'll hate on your own kind. You'll hate on other black folk for an agenda that has legitimately targeted you for erasure. This is insane. And if really you're taking your cues from a woman whose mother was Caucasian, that's self-identified Caucasian, and now her daughter is married to a Caucasian. And, you know, in the words of the great Dr. Martin Luther King.
And a lot of white folk have demonstrated eloquently that they don't have no sense.
And so here's the bottom line. You can't run on death and expect your campaign to be full of life. Yet and still, some of y'all have fallen into this trap and believe everything that these people tell you. And you know how we know that, you know, too many of us can fall into this category of listening to these folks too much. We done been there and we done that. Because these folks like to come around us and start talking like this.
Institutions are going to say you can't come in here unless you have the vaccine. Some jobs are going to say you can't get a job here unless you are safe, and you don't put the rest of the people that work here in jeopardy unless you had the vaccine. If you want freedom and if you want social justice, take the vaccine.
And now in 2024, they are saying be pro baby life deletion and be anti reparations. All of you Congressional Black Caucus members of California, you get one of these.
Sambo, Sambo, Sambo.
And for those of you, all of you who believe that, oh, well, you know, you guys didn't get it this time. Well, believe you me, this isn't over with. This isn't done. But this should motivate the family to see that this is a real thing. And I just personally believe that the DNC from the top, starting with Kamala and Nancy Pelosi and Hillary Clinton and the Obamas, I just have a feeling that they helped kill these bills. I just personally believe that. You don't have to believe what I believe. Me personally, I just believe that. And we now should fully understand that these people are about other groups and they hate foundational Black American freedmen because they want to stop our money and in the same breath turn around and vote for illegals to get their money. And these illegals is coming in here calling home just like this. Come on, family. So, family, I will say for myself, these people do not represent me, and I firmly believe they do not represent Black people. I vote no confidence in any congressional Black caucus of any place in America right now until they are willing to stand up and do the right thing. But for all of you who are sitting out there thinking that they did the right thing, they got better judgment because they don't want to mess up the party. And you got to do things that's for the party. And let me tell you, if you are one of those black people who believe that sabotaging the black reparations movement is for the benefit of a Kamala Harris campaign and all these other Democrats who've done nothing for black folks, and you think that we should put our issues on the back burner for their political careers, well, I'll speak for myself. Beatzilla PDX official, the Beatzilla PDX official show. Those of you in the chat, the grassroots and the voices of new black media, because I know I'm safe to say, I speak for all parties involved. When each and every one of you and all of your extensions, when we proudly dedicate this song to you.
Get up off of that cocaine and get up off of that crack. Get yourself together and get your mind back.
Like we always say, hashtag hands off our reparations.
You have no rights here. We're not under the empire.
Family, you can follow me at Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at beatzillapdx. You can email me at ourrealtruth@gmail.com. And if you feel so inclined to put some money in the bucket, you can definitely do so by way of CashApp. And that is $ beatzillapdx. And of course, we have PayPal, which is Zilla Music, and that is ZILLAMUZAK at PayPal. And let me do something here. All right, before we get out of here, let me, and I missed it on Friday, so make sure I shout y'all out. So sorry that I missed y'all on Friday, but let me shout out my members. Let me get y'all over here. Let me shout my members out real quick. Okay, let me shout y'all out. Memberships, there we are. Let me see all of y'all. All right, let's see who we got here. We have Dark Skinned Brother in the house, Cult-like Personality, Afro Troop TV, Jim's Eye View, Muff Moon, Hurricane IQ, No Bad News, Robin Ann Battle, Project Leroy, Phantom Beat, and Iron Will. Hey, Tasha Peters, Samuel Logan, Tanya Zion, Ayo God, the Church of Black Empowerment, Antithesis, Judah Israel, Key Prince, and Crew Reality Grand Niggas, and Faith Speaks Life, Lady Effa, Black Spider, and Deneen Soul. Thank all of my members. I appreciate each and every one of you. Peace, power, blessings, protection be up on each and every one of you. Thank you for being members of this channel. Appreciate it. And so with that being said, now you can get ready to get on out of here. And make sure you guys got your notification bells on, and make sure you are tuned in. And if you are watching this again on X, make sure you go subscribe to the YouTube channel, because all videos will not be on X, only the this video and the Friday live. But with that being said, you come over here, get down with the channel, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, and then you'll be tapped in to what we're doing here at the Beatzilla PDX official show. So with that being said, family, y'all take care. Y'all stay black, stay vigilant, stay alive. Black first, black first, black first. Shalom, y'all. Have a blessed night.
When you know who Satan is, yes, sir, you don't have to kill him. No. The stone of truth See, that's what you throw. Right. Allah says, had we wished to take a pastime from before, surely we would have done it. Nay, we cast truth at falsehood till we knock out its brains. Every one of you that knows the truth, stand up and tell it from the mountaintop. Black people can't take it no more. So wherever you are on the job, in the factory, I don't care where you are. If you know the truth, stand up on the truth and tell Satan, who the hell are you to try and pick my friends? Farrakhan is God's man, and you are from the enemy of God. So to hell with you. Stand up on it like a man.